Hi, my name is Sam from Carb's Performance Garage, and today I'm going to show you how to replace a rear main seal. This is an extended guide with more information and reasoning behind my method. If you want a short, quick guide, please watch my other rear main seal installation video that's on screen now, but the link is also in the description below. Now let's replace the rear main seal. So this is a Subaru EJ255 engine. The installation of a rear main seal, especially on Subarus, is all the same across all the EJ engines. The method and technique of this video will also apply to many other engines that use this rear main seal design. These are all the tools I like to use to replace a rear main seal. First, you have some brake cleaner and a rag to keep everything clean. Second, you need a drill with a drill bit. I use a 2mm drill bit with a screwdriver and a screw. When picking a screw, I recommend you pick one that has got threads all the way down to the bottom of the tip. The reason behind this is so that the screw can easily catch onto the rear main seal, so you can drive it in easier and will have a lot more grip. Next, I like to use a claw hammer so I can pry the old rear main seal out. Next, you need some lubricant to lubricate your new rear main seal. Personally, I like to use assembly lube and Vaseline. In my case, I have a lip balm stick that contains Vaseline. Next, you want a 1/2 inch extension. It's good to go for a medium size one due to clearance, but depending if you've got the transmission out or the engine out will depend what you can use. The reason behind a 1/2 inch extension is because it has a flat top. This flat top means there's a lot more tolerance for when you're trying to get the new rear main seal flush with the engine block. And next, you want a mallet to hit the extension, but to also hit the new rear main seal in. And finally, you need a new rear main seal. Most EJ rear main seals are all the same, but I do recommend look up the correct part number for your car before purchasing. For my case on my 2.5 litre EJ engine, I'm using part number 806786040. So just using some brake cleaner, you just want to spray around and just give the area a nice good clean. So what you want to do now is you want to get your drill, and I recommend aim for one of those because that's generally the center, and using a small enough drill bit like this 2.5mm drill bit that I'm using, you'll never hit the sides. This process, you want to be really careful because any sort of damage around these mating surfaces, and basically that could render your block useless and be a very expensive repair bill. So I'm just going to go for this one here. You want to go nice and slow. There we are. So now that we have the hole in there, now you can get your screw and your screwdriver and screw in the screw. Screw it in a good amount so you can get some good traction. So now we can remove the screw and the rear main seal. So I'm just using the hammer here, so you just want to get it. You want to pull, and there we are. The old seal is out. Make sure you keep your old rear main seal because this will help you get the new one in. Now that we have the old seal out, just get your brake cleaner and a cloth again, and just give it a nice little wash again. Try to get as much contaminants out and get it ready for the new rear main seal. Now we want to lubricate the new seal. The reason why you want to lubricate your new rear main seal is to not only help get it in, but also on startup, the main form of lubrication for this seal is the engine oil coming out of the back of the block. When you put this new seal in fresh, there's no lubrication on here, and it takes a little bit for the oil pressure in the oil to properly lubricate this. Meaning if you put it in dry, there's a chance that it could burn up the seal and ruin all the work that you've just done. So to lubricate this seal, I like to use two things. I've done this method many times and never ever had a problem. Those two lubricants is engine assembly lube, and if you have a look at this, this is a lip balm stick, but basically Vaseline. So I like to use engine assembly lube on the inside because it's nice and sticky and keeps it lubed for long enough to ensure that there's lubrication until the oil can finally reach the back of this seal to continue lubricating it. And the reason why I like to use Vaseline or some sort of petroleum jelly on the outside is because it will help get it in easier, plus it's not meant for heat. So it means that it should hopefully heat up, burn off all this lubricant, so this outside ring will not spin and it will only be the inside ring with the crank spinning on it. Now there's many other methods and lubricants you can use, but this is always the method I've used. I've never ever had a problem, and especially the Vaseline and petroleum jelly part has been recommended to me by actual Subaru techs. Now with both of these, you do not need to apply much. I like to just put a small little dot, rub it around with my finger, and if I need some more, I'll get a little bit more on the other side. Small little dot. Very tacky. A little bit more on this other side, and there we are. It's not much, but it's enough to ensure that there's always lubrication, especially on first startup of a new motor. I always like to lube the inside first, so you prevent contamination with the outside, because of course you don't want this outside piece to spin with the crank, you only want the crank to spin on the inside. So with this, I literally just rub it on. You can use a jar of petroleum jelly. I've just had this because it was a leftover stick that I dropped on the ground, so I just chopped a little bit off. And now it's my rear main seal lubricant. So just rub it around the outside. And there we are. The new rear main seal is lubed up, ready to go. So getting the new freshly lubed rear main seal, you want to put it into the back of the block. The thing that I like to do is to try push it in a good amount of the way to ensure that you get a good start. After pushing it in a little bit, you want to slowly go around with your mallet, and you'll probably notice it will straighten out. Get your old rear main seal and place it on top of the new one. This will help ensure to keep some pressure on the other side while you're hitting in. You want to constantly be lifting the old rear main seal, checking the new one to ensure that it's going in. So the most satisfying part of this job is when you've got the rear main seal's lip just past the rear of the crank. Now that it's past the rear of the crank, it is a lot less likely for the rear main seal to bow in and out, giving you some issues. So keep hitting around evenly around the rear main seal. So at this point, there's not that much distance for the rest of the seal to hit the edge. So now with the seal at this point, there's not that much more the seal needs to be pressed in until it's flush with the block. It's at this point where I like to get the extension and basically line up the flat end, half on the seal, half on the block, and keep going around and around until it's flush. I usually find that a lot of softer strokes is better because it gives you more of an indication of how close you are to flush. So every now and then you just want to feel around the outside and you can feel where the lip is. Up here there's more of a lip, where down here it's almost flush. So now you want to start focusing around this area. Keep going around and round, as the best thing about using an extension like this is if you keep it flat and level, it will only go as far as the block. It doesn't matter too much if you put little marks in the block on the top, as that's not a mating surface and it's not important. So you know the seal is in properly when you run your finger around the outside and it feels nice and smooth. So what you want is the rear main seal to be level with the rim of the block. And there we have it. The new rear main seal is installed. Installing the rear main seal is easy. I recommend replacing it each time you have access to it, as accessing the seal is the most time consuming part. Like I said at the start, I also have a quick guide with less information that can be found on screen now or in the description below. If you have any questions or feedback, please comment below, and if you like this video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing for more of my videos. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.